Hello, my name is Iria and this is my persuasive speech on teen dating violence. If someone had asked us what the birds and the bees are at age 5, we would probably describe the characteristics of an avian animal that chirps in the springtime and the insects that buzz through the air pollinating our favorite flowers. If asked about the birds and the bees now, we will go on and on, giving a long explanation about how nature works. This change in perception is due to the sex education and or health classes we all took in middle school and high school. We learned the different anatomies of women and men, we learned what hormones are responsible for growth, and we learned that boys and girls are actually from different planets. Unfortunately, I do not remember learning anything about healthy dating relationships. I don't even remember learning anything about dating violence being an issue, but it certainly does occur. Since young adult dating violence is steadily on the rise, we must take the grassroots approach and start with education in schools. By incorporating the topic of dating violence prevention in sex education classes, we as a community could vastly decrease the number of children having to suffer the effects of dating violence. Young adult dating violence is increasingly prevalent across all communities and all socioeconomic statuses in the nation. More cases of young adult dating violence are occurring every day. The Center of Disease Control and Prevention in a 2014 report stated, in a nationwide survey, 1 out of 10 high school students reported being hit, slapped, or physically hurt on purpose by someone they were romantically involved with. Dating violence is defined as the physical, sexual, or emotional violence within a dating relationship used to exert power and control over the partner. An abusive relationship usually includes jealousy and possessiveness, physical signs of injury, isolating behavior, and partner making frequent accusations of cheating and or flirting. According to a 2014 article on Livestrong.com, teen dating violence is caused by immaturity, low self-esteem, and the desire to control another human being. Teens who suffer from dating violence are typically subjected to long-term consequences like alcoholism, eating disorders, promiscuity, thoughts of suicide, and violent behavior. The saddest part of it all is that 8 states in the U.S. still do not consider dating violence as domestic violence. Therefore, this leaves teens and young adults unable to apply for a restraining order for protection from the abuser. The policy I seek to emphasize is one that will not only give victims a voice, but will stop dating violence before it even begins. I'm proposing that along with sex education, it is appropriate and cost-effective in the long run to teach the topic of healthy dating relationships and steps to prevent dating violence in health classes in schools. We all learned about puberty, the psychological makeup, the physiological makeup of humans alike, and abstaining from drugs in health classes. So why not talk about healthy dating practices? The curriculum will be tailored to be age appropriate for middle school students and high school students so that they learn things based on their mental capacity and maturity. Middle school students would first learn how to cope with their emotions and tips to deal with their anger and frustration. Because a 2012 Children's Safety Network article stated, when asked why they, children, would resort to violence, both boys and girls cited anger as the main cause. Therefore, they would learn the definition of curing relationships and of dating abuse, the causes of dating violence, and how to help a friend who is in an abusive relationship. This graph shows that a large percent, 71.8% to be exact, of children share their abuse with friends before they share with parents, teachers, or members of the clergy. This is a prime example as to why we need to prepare our students for coping with this problem. In a 2014 article on loveisrespect.org, it stated that 1.5 million high school students alone experience physical abuse in a year's time. High school students would have a more in-depth curriculum. Their lessons would simply build on what they learned in middle school. They would learn how gender stereotypes impact dating relationships, how to prevent sexual assault, and the rights they have as an abused youth. These lesson plans will help all students understand dating violence and its consequences, identify factors that can place teens at risk for dating violence, how to communicate with other teens about the importance of healthy relationships, and to learn about resources to prevent dating violence. The goal of this policy is to enact primary prevention But if abuse does occur, then students will know how to handle themselves and potentially their peers. Since dating violence begins in early adolescence, prevention programs must start with this age group to be effective in deterring teen dating violence. Just as school systems take it upon themselves to teach students about puberty, safe sex, methods of contraceptives, they can also incorporate dating violence prevention and the importance of healthy relationships. On average, a child spends 8 hours a day in school. In a month, that's roughly 160 hours. In an entire school year, that's approximately 1,600 hours in school. I think it's safe to say that children spend more time at school than at home. Most of the learning that children acquire is at school, which is why it's all the more prevalent to integrate dating violence prevention in health class lesson plans. In one 2013 National Institute of Justice funded study, school-level interventions in 30 New York City public middle schools reduced dating violence by up to 50%. The CDC has actually started an initiative named Dating Matters. Dating Matters promotes respective nonviolent dating relationships amongst 11 to 14-year-olds in high-risk urban communities. Dating violence is currently being implemented in middle schools and neighborhoods across Chicago, Baltimore, Fort Lauderdale, and Oakland, California. We have to take this issue head on and end it before it erupts like wildfire. Young adult dating violence has become a serious problem with the increase of economic disparity and as more and more young adults become sexually active at younger ages. Education of what healthy, thriving relationships, respect, and love looks like is key. We must start teaching children at a young age that abuse is never okay. Controlling another human being is wrong, and to love oneself so much that you won't stand for violence or disrespect. Remember, love shouldn't hurt. Thank you.